again, guys. This is going to be the work together and on your own for 3-1, and I'll go through and explain the application problem also. If you finish with application problem and all your vocabulary cards before the end of the hour, you need to start working on your study guide for chapter 3. So when you open up 3-1 work together, this is what you're going to see. Over here on the left is your instructions, on the right is the general journal. On your instructions up here at the top, just like before, is your list of accounts. So we have our cash, accounts receivable, supplies, prepaid insurance, accounts payable, capital, drawing, sales, miscellaneous expense, rent expense, and utilities expense. So in April, on the 1st, we received cash from the owner as an investment for $1,500. And this is going to be receipt 1. We know that because of the R. Now, one thing to note, you have a $sign and a comma and the period. You do not have to put those 3 things in. So we're going to start with our date. Because of how our system is set up, you just have to put in the month. So we're going to use April 1st. We know that cash is debited because it's going to increase. Now here, this is where it really counts. Make sure you have the correct account if you're using the mouse for this. Our doc number is receipt 1 and our debit is $1,500. Now when you type this in, you do have to put in the period to type it in. When it shows up though, the period goes away. You have to have those last 2 zeros in there for your sentence, because if you don't, the transaction looks incomplete. People will question what you have then. So continuing with our credit part, we know that this is capital, so it is Norm Derner capital. We don't need a doc number because that's already up here on the first line, and we'll put in our credit amount of $1,500. Debits equal credits, you can easily see that. Now for the second, we'll put in just the number 2. It is paid cash for supplies. We know supplies is increasing. It is an asset, so it increases on the debit side. So we'll type in our supplies. This is a check. You can see that because that's C1. And it is for $375. So our 375.00 for our cents goes in there. We know cash is an asset being credited because it's going down. We paid cash for it. And we're going to put in our 375 in our credit spot. When you go to put these in, you could tell from this video that it automatically will indent your credits for you, so you don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and go to the on your own. It is going to be very, very similar to what you just had. So our instructions on this, same thing. We're going to use June 2nd for our first date. First thing you do, put in the date. June 2nd. Remember, enter will move you from box to box. I would highly suggest you do that instead of use the mouse. Don't use your mouth either. You might get the keyboard dirty. Anyway, receive cash from owner as investment. We know cash is going to be debited. It's an asset. It is increasing. Assets are increased on the debit side. This is a receipt, so R1. Our dollar amount is 3,000 buckaroos. Put in your number and do your credit part. It was from owner as an investment, so we know it's capital. So we'll find Lou James Capital, put in our $3,000 for our credit amount. Our next transaction happens on the 3rd, so we just put in the 3rd. Paid cash for supplies. Supplies is an asset. Assets normal balances are on the debit side. Normal balance side always increases, so we're going to put supplies first. We paid with a check, so it is C1, and it was for $950. Since we paid cash for supplies, we know our cash is going to decrease. It is a credit, so we'll type in cash, type in our $950, and it indents it for us. That is all that is to the work together and on your own. So if we go back to Act 3-1, you guys know how to get there. And it's going to be very similar to what you just had. So here you can see, here's our general journal. You'll have 2 transactions to do. Remember, date first, your debit account, and the amount. You can put in your doc number at that time if you want. Then your credit account, credit amount. Double check that they equal. Then you do the same thing for the next one. This should not take you very long to do. So once you are finished, you're going to go back and you're going to start on your outline if your note cards are finished. Your note cards should be done. Your study guide is going to be clear down onto week 7. And as you can see, we have a lot that goes with chapter 3. So first part, this is just your terms and your matching again. Very similar to what you've done for all the study guides so far. If you want to print this off, write it out, and then go back in, put in your answers, you're more than welcome to do so. The next section, and by the way, that vocab you should have done today. The next section is more true and false. You guys know they show up every single time, and you can see there are 21. Use your textbook, start looking them up. That will help you immensely for your test. Then we have the third part. This is just like what you did in chapter 2. Now, what account is debited, what account is credited. Once again, you can use your book. This you should be able to do already also. You do not need your general journal to do that. That is all that is for the study guide for chapter 3. If you guys run across any problems, please ask me on Monday. Remember, you can redo your chapter 2 test through September 12th. I would highly, highly suggest each of you take a peek at how you had done on your test. You just need to go up to grades across the top and take a look at it. You can see what you missed. Go study those. A lot of you made silly mistakes on it. I know you know how to do it. Just go back through, review it, then come in, redo the test. Remember, it needs to be done on your time, not class time. This will make a big difference in some of your grades. I will see all of you on Monday. Clancy, I hope you guys did well at the football game. Talk to you guys later.